Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation platform that has saved me a shed load of time and therefore made me a lot more revenue. And in this video, I'm going to give you a guided tour around it. I'm going to tell you what it is, show you how it works, give you some working examples and that sort of thing. Now, if you've not yet come across Pabbly Connect, please do click the link in the description of this video or on or around the blog that supports this video, and you'll be straight into Pabbly Connect and you can go and have a look, try it for free as well. But I'm going to give you some examples of how I use this platform myself. Now, you'll be familiar with things like Zapier and Make and other automation platforms. Pabbly Connect is my favorite. At the moment, at the time of recording this video, they have a lifetime license available for it, which means you can buy it once and there's no ongoing subscription charges. So yeah, I've done that and I've got all of my automation needs catered for the rest of my life, I think. So here is Pabbly Connect, and in this example here, it's a very simple automation that when a new file is dropped into a particular Google Drive folder, then we automatically transcribe that using Happy Scribe, and then we take that transcript and put it back into the Google Drive folder at the same time as moving the original out of the way into a processed folder. Now, this process, if I was to do this manually, probably would take, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or something like that. I know I've got to wait for a task to complete. But, you know, this automated process means I can literally record a video, stick it in that folder, go and have a cup of tea, come back, and my transcript is ready to go. Now, transcripts are really important to the videos that I create because those get worked with in a number of different ways to create blogs and lessons and community posts and marketing content and that sort of stuff. So that's why I'm particular about transcripts. I just do that much video. If you add up all those 10 or 15 minutes I spend each time I do one of those, then you can imagine how much that adds up over the year. Now, this one's a little bit more complex. This is an automated social media posting machine that I have made. So every day, currently at 8:15 in the morning, that is the time that I like to post on social media. And at that time, I'm also present on the platform as well. I read posts, I engage with people, I jump into my inbox, have conversations with people, and that sort of stuff. I treat it like my email inbox, really, the whole of LinkedIn, both the inbox and, you know, just browsing through the content in the morning. So this automation basically every day picks up from a Google sheet what the post is for that day. So the automation will look on the sheet, it will find today's date, it will find the post, and then it will format that into a format that's ready for social media. And it also goes into my Google Drive and it collects the image that I've asked to go with that post. And all of that is scheduled on a Google Sheet planner. I'll show you what it looks like just on the screen here now. So it's a little bit messy. It does work for me. But this is literally all the dates down the left hand side. Anything in green has already been posted. Anything that's in anything that is white like that has got no content. And I'm just looking further down. So here, this one in orange is signed off, ready to go. It's all written. There's the post. Here is the image. Let me just scroll a bit. Here is the image that I'm going to post with it, just there. And that is the post that will go out on the 11th of September at 8:15 a.m. And you can see I've got all of my content into the future lined up, ready to go. Now, this doesn't excuse me from being absent from the platform at all. That is not a good strategy. You still need to be present on social media platforms. These are some of the things that I go through with the people that work with me on a one-to-one basis or in my courses. But once that process is completed, so we've searched Google Sheets, we've found the post, we've found the image, we now check that signed off status. Remember where it says signed off? And if that is signed off, then we go through this top route here. So next, the post gets posted onto my personal profile on LinkedIn, also my company profile, also onto Facebook as well. And then just as a final thing, we update the post status to change it from signed off to posted. And that's what turns that row from orange to green. I'm going to expand this in the future. I'm going to be including other platforms, but I'm also going to be programming some more intelligence and some other things along the way. But, we need to post on social media on a regular basis. So rather than kind of doing that manually or actually going through the faff of scheduling it straight onto the platform, it's really easy for me to do that on Google Sheets. Probably takes me 3 or 4 hours every other Monday to really keep on top of my social media, and the rest of the 28 days of the month, I know it's all taken care of. Now, that is, a complex automation. I've shown you a more simple one with the transcripts and things like that. But do not worry. These are really easy to build. Like I say, you don't need to be a coder. You don't need to be a programmer or anything like that. It's all very drag and drop and straightforward. Now, the last example I'm going to share with you is this one here. So I edit for Mind Tools for Business, their weekly podcast episode. And it goes through a process, really. So it's recorded, it's edited, and then it goes through a quality check process. If there's any amends to be done, then I need to pick those up. And then, it gets signed off and then it gets published. Now, using Pabbly Connect, I've created some automation to go with this sheet. So this Google Sheet, everybody's got access to. And as each episode goes through the process, this sign-off column is changed to one of 4 statuses. Whether it's quality check, signed off, amends required, or amends complete. So when I've finished editing an episode, I change it to QC. It then goes off for quality check. It's either then signed off or some amends are required. If amends are required, I'm notified. I complete those amends, change it to amends complete, and then that goes back to them for review. Now, rather than kind of emailing each other, each time, if you think about that, you've just finished doing an episode, you've just got the final file ready to go. There's the link. You now need to send someone. All right, just to let you know, I've edited that podcast. It's ready for you quality check-in, and here's the link. 5-10 minutes maybe to just do all that and tidy that up. So if you think of how many episodes I'm getting through and how regular this process is, all of that time is saved along the way because of this automation. And I'll show you the back end in Pabbly of how that looks. And it's this one here. So when that Google Sheet is updated, this automation kicks in and we get to a point where the automation is split. We call it a router in Pabbly. So this router then splits the automation depending on what that status column is. If it's signed off, they are sent this email. If it's set for quality check, they're sent this email. If it's set for amends required, this email alert goes out to different people. And when amends are complete, this email alert goes out. Now, I could have other things on the end of that, so you don't just have to have one action at the end. You could say, send an email, update this spreadsheet, and, I don't know, move the file somewhere else, something like that. Or you could say, send an email, upload the file to Happy Scribe and get a transcript, and then update the spreadsheet with the transcript link, that sort of stuff. I'm also doing a lot where I bring Canva into the mix as well. So if you think about a podcast episode, or a YouTube podcast, whatever, they often need thumbnails, and those thumbnails need to be fairly consistent to a certain degree, but they also need to be varied in terms of the text on the screen or maybe the image that's shown and that sort of stuff. So that is the next iteration for me, is kind of taking this to a level where I'm not only kind of editing the podcast, but I'm creating all the artwork to go with it, the show notes, the description, and that sort of stuff. So yes, watch this space for more tutorials. On that note, if this is the sort of stuff that you like and you think will be useful to you, please do subscribe to my channel. Not only does that mean that you will get notifications and you'll get access to future videos, but it's also incredibly helpful for me and my family as I grow my YouTube channel. It's a big focus for me. It's something I should have done a long time ago, so I'm on it now. So every like, every subscription, honestly means the world to me. So let's have a look at the Pabbly Connect website. It says here you can easily connect multiple applications and automate your tasks. Connect your favorite applications within minutes and say goodbye to manual work. Now, just as a health warning, when you get an automation platform, you tend to walk around like you've got a hammer in your hand, seeing everything like a nail. You will want to automate absolutely everything. Don't go too far down that rabbit hole. Start with regular processes that you know work, that know are embedded and that are going to exist for a long time, and start with kind of those types of things first, really. You can do a lot though. If we have a look at the apps that you can integrate, this will explain actually how Pabbly Connect works. So you first need a trigger which sets off the automation, and then the rest of the workflow is a bunch of actions basically. So some of the triggers that you can have, and bear in mind Pabbly Connect engages with over 2,000 different applications. There's a lot more than just the 5 examples that you've got on the screen here. But if you had a WooCommerce WordPress site that was taking sales and orders for you, when a new order is created, you could trigger a workflow to do one or a number of other things, like send an email, add information to Google Sheets, share a Google Drive file, or add a subscriber into MailChimp, or add them to a CRM like HubSpot. So once an order is created, you can then trigger a series of events, or if a lead is generated on Facebook, you can trigger things, or when a new lead information is collected on Google, or when you get a new Calendly booking, or when a new sale happens through Razorpay or Stripe or whatever you've got. These are triggers and examples of things that you can set up. There's all manner of different triggers. I'm not even going to go into them all. In fact, if I scroll down a bit, you'll get to see all of the various platforms that integrate with Pabbly Connect, and this is just some of them. Slack's on there. If you've got a Slack community, right, you might have somebody purchase a product or send you a payment, which then automatically adds them to Slack. Or it might be that you're, running a community in Slack, and every Friday you want to encourage people to share their wins or successes or reflect on the week that they've had. You could automate every week an automated Slack message. And you've seen some of the things I've done. I've integrated with LinkedIn, I've integrated with YouTube, Instagram. I have a platform which is Moxie that helps me to manage my clients and projects and my opportunities and my contracts and things like that. I can automate lots of things from Pabbly. Kit and emails providers like MailChimp and Kit. When somebody subscribes to your mailing list, wouldn't it be nice if you could kind of trigger an automation somewhere else? Maybe kind of, pop a note in your calendar to follow up with them in a couple of days, something like that. So there's lots of automations that you can create, and it's really simple to do. And I'm just going to open up kind of one of the automations that I've created so you can just begin to see how you can go about building these. I'm going to take the simple one that I showed you earlier, which is my automated transcript thing. So I've literally got a Google Drive folder. Anything I put into that folder triggers this automation. So I'll click on it here. Google Drive, when a new file is in a specific folder and I've chosen the folder here, then that is the start. And you can save this step, this trigger. You can also save it and test it as well. Now, I know this is going to come up with an error, a message at the moment, because that folder is empty if I test it. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I will put in, there we go. I've just put, in fact, I'll show you on this screen here. I've just put into that folder this test video file. Okay. So that is in this folder, transcript folder. So I can save that. I can also save and send a test request. So this will actually run that step. So it'll run that trigger. And as you can see, it's come up here with all of the information from Google about that new file. Now, what I can do is then use that information in the next step, which is exactly what I've done. So in this Google Drive step here, I've said share a file with anyone. So this file needs to be accessible so that the transcript platform can pull it in. And the file, I haven't typed anything in here. I've actually used information from a previous step. So all this information is coming from this previous step here. And you can see one of those is the file ID. So I've said, share this file taken from the previous step with anyone. I can save that and send a test request. And from that, I can see that that's now happened. So this has taken the information from the new file. This has now shared it with everybody. And what I'm next going to do is take the current date and time. So I've chosen the app date and time formatter. I want the current date and I want it formatted in that way. I'll show you why I've done that in a second. But I've now got today's date as a field from that step. Again, I can use that information in the next step here. So next I'm on to Happy Scribe. And I've said here, with the app Happy Scribe, create a transcription. And I want you to give it the name. And I've used the date from step number 3 with a hyphen and then the name of the file from actually step 1. I've said that I want the transcript in English. And I have taken the file to be uploaded from step 1 because as part of this process here, we got a link that we can now include to send that off to Happy Scribe. In Happy Scribe, there are folders where I can keep different transcripts. So here is where I have chosen which folder to put it in. And if I wanted this as a subtitle or a set of subtitles to use with a video, I just need to change that to true. So if I was to send and save and send that, that would then submit to Happy Scribe this file that's been retrieved from step 1, and it would go ahead and create that transcription within Happy Scribe automatically, just because I've added it to that folder. And then finally, this last step here is actually taking that original file, so using the ID still from step 1, and we're now going to move that file into a folder called Processed Files. And that will take, in fact, I might be quick enough to show you this working. So there's the folder as it is there with that little test video. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm going to click Save and Send Test and then bring that folder back up. And probably a bit too slow, but that file has now disappeared inside the processed folder, and that's because of this step here that we've added in. So you can see how easy it is to kind of work with this stuff, and I know this is stuff to learn. If you can't be bothered with this, please do let me know and talk to me about how I can work with you and help you get quicker at this sort of stuff. But let me just very quickly show you how to build one of these up from scratch. You start with a blank sheet of paper, and your first job is to add a trigger. And then from the apps, you can either choose what's on the screen here or you can search. So let's say I'm going to go into Google Calendar now. And let's say the event is when a new event is created. Okay, I would then need to sign in with Google. So if you haven't yet added a connection, I haven't yet added a Google Calendar connection. So we need to sign in with Google, put in our details to make sure it's all authenticated. You have to also allow permissions too. And there we go. So when there is a new event and I get to choose my calendar here. So let's choose that one. And then I can save and send test requests there. So that's just picking up the latest appointment in my calendar. And then what I can say is let's send an email to that person. So the one I want is SMTP. I'm going to send an email, connect. Select an existing connection because I've already added my email account to this. And then I can type in my from name just here. And when it comes to the from email, what I can do is go into the previous step and take the email address from that new Google calendar appointment. So I can have my from address in there. I can put the to address, taking it from the calendar appointment. Here's where I would type the subject of my email and the body here as well. So you can see how I can quickly build things up just with this drag and drop approach, searching through the apps to find my triggers and then building up the actions that I want to take. Now, I don't expect that you've covered everything you need to know ever about Pabbly Connect. So I know I keep saying it, but please do subscribe to my channel, follow and like this video. That will help me immensely. I'll be creating more of these tutorials, and certainly that encouragement along the way will help me. But watch out for more tutorials from Lee, definitely on things to do with automation, Pabbly Connect, but there's lots of other tools and platforms that I'm going to be covering. My main thing at the moment is helping trainers and coaches to get their knowledge online. So be that online courses, communities, knowledge bases, events, group coaching programs, one-to-one coaching programs, whatever it is you're working on, please do follow me and just get as much information from me as you can on this topic. This is my website. It's helpwithdigital.com. I'll make sure there's a link to this in the description. There'll be a link to Pabbly Connect as well if you want to check that out. But please do check out helpwithdigital.com. There is a free tech tips tribe on there that you can join. And on there, I share all of my tech tips and tutorials and resources and freebies and courses and gosh knows what else, but it's entirely free, and I'd love you to be a part of that. Also, on that site as well, you'll find lots of blogs, lots of videos, lots of tutorials to help you get better at using technology within your small business. So, hope you found that useful. Please check out links in the description. Subscribe for more. Like this video. See you next time.
Business owner with your head in your hands, stressed out trying to keep up with technology's demands, whether you're part of a team or a one-person band, where on earth do you focus to deliver your plans? Are you nervous to progress with all the options out there? Well, let me introduce you to a breath of fresh air, a way for you to reach your organizational dreams, teach yourself some digital skills and all that it means, come up with some schemes, but don't assume it will be easy to create content and manage communities. So how do you scale? How do you multiply yourself? How do you create an offer that people can buy off the shelf? Make some serious money that might lead to some wealth. Introducing AD House, there's really no one else. Technology's moving fast, so don't get left behind. Click the link below and join AD's digital tribe.